Hi, this is Alan Seid, founder of Cascadia Workshops. I work as a breakthrough coach for positive change agents, people who are committed to their own personal growth and development and to making a positive difference in the world. A lot of what we focus on with breakthroughs focuses on the interior limitations, the inner game. Because, I'll give you an example. One of my business coaching clients who happens to live in Madrid, one of the things we work on, besides mentoring around specific, say, online marketing tactics, is if she comes up against an internal obstacle like the voice that says, play small, hide out, don't put yourself out there, or other voices that say, you're a fraud, you don't know what you're doing, we'll actually engage with those and have a role play and create a breakthrough with those inner messages and inner limitations. But some of the breakthroughs we need are not merely interior, they also have to do with how we do things externally and how we make things happen. Now, some of the breakthroughs are conceptual because until we actually understand how something works, we may not actually be blocking ourselves, and we may have the technology and the resources we need, but we just don't have a strategy. We don't have that bridge for how to take what is exciting for us, what we know about, what we think we can help others with, and translate it into something that we can communicate with other people. So that's what this video is about. It's about 3 different approaches, 3 different strategies we can take to content creation, and I'll teach you another really, really critical, for me it's been totally critical, this concept of the content tree, and I'm going to give you one other concept that to me is a multi-million-dollar concept. So, 3 approaches to content. Now, I've spent probably, 6, 7, 8 years studying with some of the top dogs, if you will, in online and offline business and marketing, and I've learned from so many. And one of the gifts I have, and it's not bragging, it's not coming from ego, I just noticed that one of the things that happens to come naturally to me is to take information from different places and synthesize it into something that makes sense to me, and then be able to articulate it for other people in a way that I'm able to make it make sense for them. So this is what I've done with all these different business mentors and teachers and trainers, is I've synthesized a 9-step approach for how to start your business from scratch. And one of these mentors, John Egan, gave me this wonderful concept of 3 different approaches for how to create content. Now, his expertise is book writing, and I'm actually in the middle of writing a couple of books, and I'm so grateful to him and his programs. But this concept is key, whether you're just creating an ebook, whether you're creating videos, whatever it is that you're creating that you want to put information out there, this is going to help you. The first approach is the content creator's approach, or the author's approach. So if I'm writing a book, the approach is, I'm going to write this great book, and I'm going to sell lots of copies of this book and make lots of money by selling lots of copies of this book. Well, the reality is that most books sell probably 3,000 copies on average. You can look this up. In the United States, most books will not be money makers. So even if you're talking about video or you're talking about other types of online content, the author's approach of saying this content will go viral, or people will love this, or a lot of people will jump on it, this is a valuable approach, and it has inherent limitations. When I mention the following 2 approaches, what you'll see, especially if you're a student of Ken Wilber's integral work, is that they each transcend and include the previous approaches. Another way of saying this in business terms is that each of the following approaches has increased leverage in terms of what you can do for your business. So the next approach is the marketer's approach. So I use my ebook or my physical book or my video or my online content to market some of my other programs and services. So I have my book and it contains links to my website, or in my book I talk about this amazing retreat I do once a year called the Black Belt Communication Skills Retreat at the Whidbey Institute. So like that, you can use the content you create to promote other things or to market other things. So that's the second approach. The first one is the content creators or the author's approach. The second one is the marketer's approach. The third one is the investor's approach. Now, I told you at the beginning of this video that I was going to offer you a multi-million-dollar concept, and here it is. Information is fungible. In other words, information can change form. Let's say that you're in the workshop business and you offer a live event. People come to your event, they get a wonderful experience, and then they leave, event over, done. What if you hired a videographer, maybe 2 or 3 video cameras to videotape your event? Then you have your live event, people come to your workshop, they enjoy it, they get something wonderful, they leave, it's over, and you've got all this footage. Now you have a DVD you can put out. But let's say that you extract the audio off the DVD and you chop it down, and then you have an audio program and you create some handouts to go along with that. Or you take some of that audio from that workshop you did, have it transcribed, and then you edit it down to create an actual script for another set of videos. Or you take the audio and you break it down into some sections and you create a cool slideshow, and now you've got a 4-part webinar. The point is, you can capture content one time and repurpose it into multiple types of information products. And that is a multi-million-dollar idea, especially if what you do actually helps other people and actually contributes to their lives. Then you have a chance at people really loving your stuff. And that's where I suggest you watch this other video on the 4 Ps: positioning, packaging, promoting, and partnering, because that also influences how you talk about your content and how you put it out there. So with the investor's approach, what you realize is that you're investing in your information empire, if you will. You're investing in allowing your content to replicate itself into other forms. For example, I have some videos online that are free, but I also offer people the MP3 because that offers people so much more value. And then I also offer people the transcriptions of those videos. I took an entire online course of videos, took the transcriptions, and turned those into an entirely separate product that you can find. It's the Black Belt Communication Skills online program transcriptions, and those are a separate product unto themselves. So you can see how I'm doing that in my business, and I suggest that you have that mindset when you're creating content as to how you could repurpose it later, because that'll help you when you're setting it up to do it in a way that's more easeful for you. Now, the content tree, super important concept. Apple Computer 10 years ago was not even in the top 100 companies in terms of market valuation. And in a short time period, they made it to number 1. And you could basically sum that up with 3 words: integrated product suite. It started with the iPod, and then the iTunes Store, and iTunes software, and then the iPad, and all these things started to integrate and come together, and people loved it. And then the iPhone, and so what they ended up with is an integrated suite of products. Now, when it comes to content creation, you can do this also, and here's the conceptual breakthrough that I'm offering you. You think about the main thing, the number 1 thing that you do, and you can call that the trunk of your tree. I'm just going to label it main thing. I don't know if you can see that all, but you get the point. So now you think about the main branches that come off of your tree. I mean, essentially this is a form of mind mapping, but I like the tree image. So, for example, my main thing is empowering positive change agents to be the most powerful agents of change they can be. And I do this through mindsets, tools, skills, resources, and community. But let's just say best practices. So tools and processes. So that would be like the main thing here. And then we have some in relation to living with the earth, like permaculture design. And then we have other ones in relation to money, like the Black Belt Money Skills course, also known as financial integrity. And then a whole major branch off of that is business building skills for people who want to be entrepreneurs. And then there's a whole other branch having to do with communication skills. Nonviolent communication is one of those amazing tools. And again, each one of these also branches out. So For example, in the communication skills piece, how to speak your truth in a way that's most likely to elicit a compassionate response from the other person. And then over here, like how to listen in a way that other people feel really heard and gotten, and they experience you as a really good listener. And in other words, like how to take care of yourself when you're triggered so that you can hang in there in a tough conversation. And then each one of these branches out into smaller branches and like that. And so you take all the different things that are your expertise, and when you're done with this brainstorm, you can see how they all hang together in an integrated whole. Now, I did do another video talking about different levels of content, free content, then more easily accessible or front door content, and then high-end like depth offerings. Each one of these little branches could be a standalone blog post, or it could be a standalone video, or it could be part of a larger thing that you offer. And I also want you to think about the 4 P's that I talked about in a different video in terms of positioning, packaging, promoting, and partnering, and how that relates to some of these other little pieces. So you take this mindset of approaching content creation as an investor in your own work, so that you're creating content in a way that can be repurposed in multiple ways to address multiple learning modalities. And you can also look at how that plays out in terms of all your content sort of hanging together into a coherent, integrated whole. And you're starting to get to a really powerful strategy for putting yourself out there as someone who can really help others with what you know and with what you can do. This is a set of concepts that I have as the background operating system in my business. It's not one of the 9 steps that I teach in my Right Livelihood 2.0 online course. It is one of the pieces that I want everybody in my programs to have as part of the background operating system, just to be able to keep your content as an integrated whole, and also have in mind that you can repurpose your content to reach lots of different people in lots of different ways. Thank you so much for watching. Please leave me a comment below and let me know if you have any feedback or any questions, and I would love to be in a dialogue with you. Thanks.